chesed, with kindness.
Olam chesed yibaneh.
I think initially it was shock. It's not that I'm surprised that there was another flare-up between Israelis and Palestinians. It's not that I'm so surprised that there's a flare-up between in and around Gaza, but the sheer brutality, the violence, the terror of this one is markedly different. This was not a geopolitical event for us. This was an anti-Semitic gut punch.
And we turn back now to 253, where we'll join together in a prayer for healing. We think of all of those who were wounded in Israel this week, all of those who are suffering because of the violence. We pray for all of them.
The Pittsburgh Jewish community has been through trauma. We know what it's like. And I knew instinctively that we had to talk about it, that we had to open the conversation, and we had to start dealing with it. And hate is hate wherever it is. And hate is wrong wherever it is, in whatever direction it's flying.
My prayer this Shabbat is that those who are held captive be freed, that those who are being misguided and misled by their leaders be freed, that the violence come to an end.
This was the biggest single-day massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. And this has all sorts of echoes of events in the Holocaust. This one hit Jews differently. And I think we as a Jewish community need our friends and neighbors to see that, to see how different this one was. And then we need to sit down with our friends and neighbors and say, help us, how can we do better? We need to turn to our Muslim friends and our Palestinian friends and say, look, we want peace and so do you. Neither of us should be putting up with Hamas. We need to figure out a better way.
The hatred rings so strong, and it just, my heart is in my stomach right now. I just...
And when she says hatred, it's not, we don't have hatred for anybody who lives in Gaza or for anybody else, but what the actors there feel towards each other is what is so disconcerting.
And the continuing hatred of the Jewish people, you know, just for existing. It's unfathomable to me why it just keeps going on.
And there's tremendous loss in Israel, in Gaza. It is just
horrific.
It's horrific.
Just horrific. We've been in touch with everybody we know who has family in Israel, and it's just heartbreaking to hear what they're going through and feel so helpless to not be able to do anything.
Throughout that day and really ever since, I've been sort of on the verge of tears. I found myself crying over this past week more than in any week that I can remember. There's such deep pain in not just in this community, of course, around the Jewish world. I think that for this community in Pittsburgh, having lived through what we lived through 5 years ago, that it was re-traumatizing in some sense. I think one of the things that I'm really feeling right now, a week later, is that on that weekend of October 27th, 2018, we felt the whole community embrace us. But we're not feeling the warm embrace of the community, the Jews in Pittsburgh, nor around the world are we feeling right now that the non-Jewish world is feeling our pain.